Alright, this is Eric with Expiring Music Writer, and this is a Just Yackin segment number 2, and it's called Reflecting on What God Has Given Me. We're going to cover a lot of stuff today on this Just Yackin, or I am. Hopefully y'all will find it inspiring or whatever, But if you've never heard of me, my name is Eric Stone, and I'm drinking a beer. I usually drink something alcoholic when I do these things, whether it's doing comedy, telling jokes, writing about or talking about songs, or just anything on my channel. Most of the time I'm drinking something alcoholic. But anyway, so like I said, if you haven't already subscribe to Expiring Music Writer. It's a picture of me and Kevin Fowler, the profile picture. But what I'm going to talk, like I said, today's title is Reflecting on What God Has Given Me. If you haven't heard the story, I might go back and redo it because I don't think I actually ever put it on YouTube. It was really just on Facebook, and with Facebook not letting you really go live for a lot of stuff anymore, I don't do that, and I'm trying to build this up. So, yes, it always sounds like I got a cold. I don't know why. But, back in 2017, I went back. I've been in kind of a depression here lately, in and out. I haven't been taking my medicine like I should. And I've been on it for about a week and a half now. So take your medicine if it's prescribed by the doctor. And I should always know that, but we're human beings and we fuck up, Yes, I do cuss. I'm a Christian, but I do cuss a little bit. So if you don't like it, sorry. I'm not perfect. But back in 2017, it was probably the end of 2016, I started trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I'm from a small town in Arkansas, less than 1,000 people, and I work for my family. I was working for my family, but I'm still working there. But I was just not happy at all with what I wanted to do within my life. So I didn't know where to turn. I was getting up, going to a job I hated every damn day. Didn't really have a life. I was just existing. And one day I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw the jump video by Steve Harvey. And I was like, that's kind of weird. I've never heard stuff like that. Because he was talking about if you want to do something, you got to pray, and you got to jump. If you haven't seen it, go look it up on YouTube. I think you can just put in jump Steve Harvey, and it'll take you there. Every time it comes up on my Facebook memories, I share it just to see. Hopefully it'll help somebody out. But anyways, so sorry, my cats are going nuts right now. I got 2 cats. But, so I was like, that was, I got me thinking, and he said something about, there was a Bible verse, he said he couldn't remember what it was, and honestly, I can't either. It said, ask and you will receive. And like I said, nothing was going right for me. Not that it was bad, I just didn't want to do what I was doing for the rest of my life. And I started on a journey, and like I said, I really didn't know where to go. I grew up Roman Catholic, but there's a lot of stuff that I didn't believe, and I'm not bashing any type of religion whatsoever. It just wasn't for me, because I like to question stuff. So if you're always wanting to or if you feel like something's not right in religion, go question it. Go ask somebody that knows a little bit more than you, because I dealt with that my whole life, and I still question stuff to this day. But like I said, so I asked God, I said, God, I don't know what I want to do. I said, you put me on this earth for something. And also what Steve Harvey said is that everybody's got a gift that they receive at birth, whether it's drawing, painting, commentating, dancing, singing, cutting grass, color hair, cooking, frying chicken, whatever. And you can't just think of talents as running, jumping, acting, like stars. Some people can network together. Some people can speak really eloquently. Some people can just, are a good team leader, whatever. And I got to thinking, I love music. I've liked music since I was a kid. I'm 34 years old. I'll be 35 in September. And I was like, when I was back it'd be probably sophomore, junior year. I've always loved music. I'll take you back from the beginning. But I really didn't know what music did for me until Creed came out around 97, the year 1997. There was at first there was a four-piece band, a quartet, a rock quartet, and they come out with an album called My Own Prison. And I loved it because at that time, when I was that age, which I probably would have been 12, 13 years old, the only music that, we didn't really grow up around music, but the only music that was played was late 80s and 90s country, and that was just for noise. And then my uncle would listen to late 60s and early 70s rock. Alice Cooper, Queen, a little bit of Bob Dylan, not much Bob Dylan. Leonard Skinner, The Who, the Doobie Brothers, the Doors, all that stuff. But he never cared for Tom Petty, though. And anyways, so this beer's good, by the way. But anyways, and my sister would go to school. She was 4 years younger than me. And she was listening to all the stuff that was coming out in the late 90s, early 2000s, that time period. Backstreet Boys. Eminem was a big one. He was rap, though. NSYNC, Britney Spears, 98 Degrees, Creed, Avril Lavigne, Eminem, which I said before, 3 Days Down, or 3 Doors Down, sorry, 3 Doors Down, just a little bit of everything. And I was like, I like this a little bit better than this country because this country crap is getting old. You listen to 80s, so much of George Strait, Mark Chestnut, Toby Keith, Red Act, and you're just sick of the fucking shit. You're just tired of it, And I wanted something different, so that got me into a different, which I didn't understand what was going on at the time, but God has a plan for everything, and it's going to go according to what He wants it to, and you cannot stop this shit either. So I asked my mother for the album. Nickelback was another band back in those days, which I think they started out in Canada in the early 90s, but I didn't listen to them until the Silver Side Up album, which I think was like 2001. It came out in 2001, which honestly I think Nickelback's the worst band ever. That's just my opinion. They're very bland and sound like everybody else. To me, they don't have an original sound. Some songs sounds like 90s rock, some songs sounds like Metallica, some sounds like this, Anyways, I'm getting off track. I do that a lot. And my mom bought me the CD and or that or I paid for it. I can't remember. But I didn't know why, but it made me feel good. Every time I listened to that sucker over and over and over and over. I mean, I literally wore that damn CD out. But like I said, I didn't know what was going on, but it affected me to the point where I felt good. You know, like every time I felt better about life. Not that I was going to hurt myself or try to kill myself, and this will go in later. So, but I just but at that point in my life, I think if I would have died for some whatever reason, I think I would have been just fine at that time. Thank God, thank God, literally, He had another plan for me. But we'll step into that in a little bit. Anyways, so like I said, going back to late 2016. Like I said, I got into red dirt music, Texas music, red dirt music, Texas country, whatever you want to call it. Around the summer of 2004, which is also a song I'm working on. And I was like, before I started asking God for what I wanted to do, I was like, it'd be cool to write a song. It'd be cool to have a song on the radio, whatever. Well, jumping back to 2016, like I said, I was going nuts. My mom was screwing with me. Like at one time I thought I was bipolar. One time I thought that I was loony and everything. Like I said, it got bad, but it got worse too. I can laugh about it now, but anyways, like I said, get back to that. I seen the jump video and I was like, God, I said, I don't know what I'm meant to do on this earth. I know you put me here for some reason, some odd reason, and you only know. And I said, I want to be a songwriter. I said, I don't know why, it just feels like that's what I want to do. I want to write for a living. It's what I said, songs, novels, short stories. I said, that's the only thing I know that I'm good at, and I tried writing songs for a long time, and I couldn't figure it out. But at the time, I think at that time I was working on a novel that I'm still working on called One Last Dance with the Devil, which is based off a Chris Knight song called Hard Edges and another song called Sick and Tired by Crosscut and Ragweed, which is my favorite band, which is that yellowish one up above tattoo I got. Anyways, and I said, I don't know how to write songs, this and that, And the buddy of mine that I was working with at the time, he's like, dude, you need to write a song because that's all you fucking talk about. I was like, well, I've tried, I can't do it. He's like, well, keep on trying. I was like, dude, I don't know how. I didn't know nothing about it, anything, And so, like, about 2 or 3 weeks before I went in the mental hospital, I watched a show on suicide and called the suicide hotline, call me, message me on my Facebook or YouTube. I can put my number down on the deal when I do this, but get help, because it did help me, and ending your life is not a solution. It's not a good solution. God put you on this planet for a reason. So call the suicide hotline. I'll get it. I'll find out what it is. I don't know it by hand. But anyways, so I watched it, and it never bothered me. It was a show where this guy ended up killing himself after he shot a bunch of people. And that stuff never had bothered me. I'd watch stuff like that all the time. But for some odd reason, it bothered me. I kept telling my mother, I've got to do something. I've never felt this way. I feel really weird. And I got nuts for a while. Like, I thought everything was going wrong with me. I thought I was nuts and all this other stuff that I probably are. I'm going to get into a lot more into a autobiography that I'm going to write called A Slim Chance, A Slim Gram of Cobain and Ragweed, which is beyond obsessed. Eminem, Graham Parsons, which is the father of country music, Kurt Cobain, and Crosby and Ragweed, which is my band, or not my band, sorry, my favorite band in the world. But anyways, so I went in there the first time. It was at Russellville, St. Mary's in Russellville, Arkansas. And I started, I think the first night was either March 1st or March 2nd, I can't remember, through about the 7th of 2017. And what happened was, before I went, I kept telling the doctor, I said, look, I'm getting anxious about everything. Every time I drive somewhere, I'm always worried about getting in a car crash and dying, this and that. Every bad scenario that could have happened, or could possibly happen, is what I thought of. So they put me on Lexapro, which was weird because Lexapro is a depression medicine. And they also put me on Ambien to help me sleep because I wasn't sleeping worth a shit at that time. So, I go and like I think it was like the second or third night I was there. I was asking one of the nurses or whoever. I said, I got a question. And she said, what is that? I said, was I up running around in the middle of the night? She goes, no, lights out are at 9 o'clock. It was either 9 or 10, I can't remember. I said, I can vividly remember being up, running around the wing of the hospital, She's like, well, what kind of medicine do they got you on? And I told her this and that, and Lexapro. I said, they also got me on Ambien. She goes, that's what it is. She said, we're going to take you off the Ambien. And about 2 days later, I felt great. I was on the Lexapro. I felt great. So, and I never did write a song, although I tried to. I think it was this old worn-out Bible, and I've never finished a song. I've got it wrote down somewhere in this. It's called, it's a binder I got called My Unfinished Songs. But I think that's what it was, that I tried to write this old worn-out Bible or something like that, and I never could figure out how to get anything, started with it. So the next, I check out, everything's fine. I'm taking Lexapro, right? Well, I'm thinking I'm cured, but no doctor ever told me that those type of drugs you have to slowly get off of, and you can't quit cold turkey because that's what will happen is you'll go nuts, literally. So anyways, that's exactly what happened. I mean, I thought a bunch of weird shit that I can't remember. I'm going to put it in my biography. But, I thought I was bleeding in places that y'all don't want to hear about, and this and that, and just, it was weird. And at one time I thought I was allergic to milk. Another time I thought it was just weird, dude. And so I told my mother, I said, there's got to be something going on. And I said, I got to go back. She goes, no, it's just you're wanting attention. I was like, no, this is not attention. I said, I need help. And, but she kept putting it off, and I kept listening to her. And there was something that God kept telling me, be your own person, and you got to make your own decisions. So I remember the night. It was about maybe 2 months later, exactly around 2 months later in May of 2017. By the way, this beer is really good. But anyways, so it got to the point where I couldn't even do my work. I could go to work because that's all I thought about was suicide. Like I said, I'm going to put the deal in my YouTube. So if you have any, if you need help, I'll put the number down in the comment, or not the comments, but in the video. But anyways, so I went to Walmart to get groceries, and I remember getting out. I don't remember what I got. I still couldn't tell you to this day. What I had in my basket, I said, I'm going right now. I made it my decision. I'm going. I'm going to be my own man. So I left the basket in the middle of Walmart, and I've never do that because I'm courtesy, and I take my basket to the designated areas, or put it back up, where they are in the store, outside the store, and I drove home. I can't even tell you how I got there. I mean, I know I drove there, and I went home and got the rest of my meds. I packed up a few things because I knew I was going to the mental hospital. That's what I wanted. And I go tell my grandma, which I'm very close to my grandma. I said, hey, look, it's getting worse again. It's worse than the last time. I'm going to go to it. Okay. So I went into the emergency room and told them I'm having the suicidal thoughts again. They're worse this time. I mean, I was going nuts. They said, okay, we'll get you checked in. And I messaged my mom. I texted her. I said, I know you're probably getting really pissed at me, but I'm checking myself into a mental hospital or whatever they suggest. I said, I know you don't think it's the right thing to do, but I think it is, and I'm sorry. She said, okay, well, I'll be there in a minute, And so the doctor comes in, he goes, what's going on? I told him, I said, having suicidal thoughts of shooting myself, and like I said, if you need help, call somebody, call the suicide hotline, do whatever you got to do. Do not do it. And I'm not judged, I'm just, from experience, I do not try to judge. Actually, I'm less judgmental since I've been in the mental hospital. But anyways, back to that story. I promise we'll get on happier notes, a happier subject here in a minute. So I went on there, I think May the 8th, might have been the 7th, but I remember the first time I went in an ambulance, and that was the most uncomfortable fucking vehicle I ever rode in. The next time I went, or the second time, I went in a van that they provided me with because it was cheaper than the ambulance. And dude, I knew I was bad because I couldn't even tell you where we were going. We ended up going to Springdale, somewhere up in Springdale. Or not we, but I did. They took me. But anyways, and like I said, I called my mom every day. I called a buddy of mine, which he didn't answer because he thought it was just a robo number or whatever. And then he finally got a hold of me, and then finally figured out what it was. But I called this buddy of mine that told me about this, write a song. I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, I said, not much, just getting a little bit better, not much. But he goes, dude, write a song. It's like, dude, I've told you 100 times I can't. He's like, yes, that's what you're made for. This is what God put you on the earth to do. And I said, I don't even know what to write about, dude. And I said, the only song that I ever tried writing up until then, except for that worn out Bible one, which I never have finished, was a song called A Portion of My Life. And it was the worst piece of crap I've ever wrote. I can't even tell you what it was. It was a ripoff of the first track on the My Own Prison album is what it was. Back when I was listening, Creed was popular. But anyways, it was called A Portion of My Life, and it sucked. But he goes, dude, write what you've been going back about what you've been going through the last couple months. So, okay, I will try, but good freaking luck. So we go into this communal, or not we, but I go in this communal thing, and communal room, the community room. I don't know if that's what they called it, but that's what I call it. And I remember, I was there like 3 or 4 days before I really started writing the song, and So, every morning we had to go to we had group therapy and this type of therapy, that therapy, all day long to keep us busy, which was good because it kept me in my mind going, And, but anyways, so and I remember, I can't even tell you this girl's name. I can't even tell you what the hell she looked like. I just remember she had short hair. I do remember that. And she was talking about how her mother forced her to do drugs like when she was like 6 or 7 years old. I was like, that's a bad, thing, And so I started with kind of her story. And then I put my story together, what I went there for, and then kind of fantasized it to where these two wanderlust, or it's like whatever, people meet up and marry and have a baby. And it was the first song I ever wrote was in between March 8th and March 17th, or May 8th and through 17th. In between May 8th and May 17th, 2017 was a song called A Beautiful Soul. And it honestly ain't that great. But it was a start. And I'll always keep it. I've got every song I've ever written on a jump drive, and I got a paper copy too. So that's what God has done for me. Another thing I asked for, which it wasn't in the mental hospital, was I always wanted to get a guitar signed. I don't know why I'm doing this, but a guitar signed by a few bands. I was like, that'd be cool. Now, and also another thing is in the Bible, and I'm not a preacher by no means. I can't even tell you half the where it's at in the Bible. I just know it's there. When you ask and you receive, He will give you in abundance of what you ask for. Because I asked for a song or two. Now I've written over almost 100 songs now since 2017, which is 18, less than 4 years, because we just started this year. So that's about 25 songs a year that I'm writing. Only God can do that. Thank you, Jesus. I'm sorry, but that's just what it is, And, and I'd write all kinds of songs too. I write country songs, hip hop songs, Americana songs, hair metal songs, 50s rock songs, Alice Cooper influenced songs. I know the only type of songs that I don't think I've written is an opera, or I've written blues songs, there's about every, except for maybe like pop country. I don't care much for pop country. I'm not a pop country fan. Now I do like the old, I do like pop though, but not pop country. I also write parodies. Another one of my favorite songwriters, well not songwriters, artist is Cletus T. Judd. He's like the Weird Al Yankovic of country music. And I like Weird Al a little bit, but I like the country a little bit more, you know. But anyways, back to the guitar thing. Now I've got like 7 or 8 guitars that have been signed by different artists, which is a lot of local people, local artists. J.T. Hubbard, Devin Robertson, Jocko Deal, the George Brothers, Doug Story, Jay Burgess, which he's out in Nashville now, some other people. And then the biggest signature I got, or most famous signature I got right now, is Brian Head Welch from Korn. I actually got to meet Brian. That was awesome. I've never seen Korn live, but he was doing a speaking in Conway. Said, I'm going, I don't care. But that's like the biggest one that I've got. Is Randy Rogers, Cody Canada, B.J. Barham from American Aquarium. Who else? I don't have Mark Chestnut. Kentucky Headhunters, I got all of them. Just, 7 guitars for, I mean, that's just an abundance. That's God's promise, and I don't know why I do this, but I do this when I talk. Also, like I said, I've almost got 100 songs. I haven't looked like the actual number in a while, but I've got like 40 in the works. And when I say the works, I mean like whether it's a song I did or unfinished songs, but here's about 12 that I'm working on out of the 40 or 50 I got. One's called Love for the Bottle, which is one of the earlier songs that I wrote. And I was going back today getting all the unfinished songs that I've working on. And I forgot about some of these songs that I've started. And they're horrible. 2 of them really bad, horrible. But they had potential. And you get better as you do something more and more and more. Because I write all the time. I'm a lyricist. I'm not a songwriter. I'm a lyricist. Because I don't put no music to it. It's just words. Love for the Bottle has got me trapped. That's kind of all I remember from that song. Another song that I got is Here You Go Again, Breaking My Heart, which is another early song, which I'm going to try to go back and rewrite that. And I also think that I'm going to rewrite a bunch of my older songs now that I know I'm surrounded. When I go watch local artists, they give me pointers on how they write songs. I mean, I don't take everything they say, but, I use a lot of their stuff, was you got to get a rhythm and this needs to run with that and, and stuff like that. There's a pattern to writing songs. And, I didn't understand that at first because, it was just me doing it on my own. I remember a song that I wrote. I'm going to keep it because I think it's a really good song. It's a song called Only God Can Judge. It does not rhyme any line, but the message is awesome. Sorry. Another song I'm writing is summer of 2004. I got the idea for this song. I listened to a lot of Charlie Robinson. If you don't know who Charlie Robinson is, check out Charlie Robinson, especially Good Times. That's my favorite album by him. I remember when I was a junior in high school, a buddy of mine, a couple buddies of mine, we would drink. He'd buy us beer when we were younger. And we all were sitting over at Charlie Robinson, or his house. Don't ask me why it's at Charlie Robinson's house. But we were sitting at his house one night, and he puts on Live at Green Hall. That's another badass album. Listen to it. And I hated, it was 2004 because it was when Good Times came out, which had New Year's Day, The Bottom, El Cerrito Place was like the big single off that album, which is really good on, which was featured on CMT. Goddamn These Big City Blues. But that album is so awesome. I actually might start listening to that tomorrow. But anyways, but off the Live at Green Hall album, which was when he put out before, there's a song that Bruce Robinson wrote called Tonight. And the way that he did it, get down. Sorry, my cat is getting up there. But anyways, and the way that he did it is he described kind of like their partying days when they were still in high school. And then he went into the song Tonight, and it kind of did, it tied all together. So that's kind of what I want to do with my junior year of high school. That's when I discovered a lot of the stuff that I do. But another one is a song called Dirty Blonde. And it's, I don't know, y'all may not know this, but it's going to be all based off, and I don't even know if it's going to be an actual song, if I can pull it off, but off Mae West. She was a vaudeville actor that was a woman, which was like very unrare, or it was very rare back in those days, before TV, before theaters, and but I was watching deal on something one time and found that out, and I also found out, I was wondering one time, because I read a lot, what the difference is blonde with an E and blonde with no E. I think blonde with an E is a woman, and blonde with an E and with no E is a man, which I didn't know that. I always wondered what it was, and I learned that in Marilyn Manson's biography that I'm reading right now. But anyways, this is a country song that I'm writing called "Ain't Enough Whiskey to Get You Off My Mind." Forget about her, or forget her. That's another country song. This is another one which I don't use this word a lot, but I just think for the song, it's called "Goddamn You Caroline." And I kind of got the idea from Cody Jinks's David and Tanner Ursey's Josephine. So I don't know how I'm going to do that one just yet, but it's going to be like a slow song. I write a lot of slow songs. And because that's just what I actually wrote a song called "I Love Slow Songs the Best," or something like that. So another song I'm writing is "Here Comes Trouble," which is gonna be kind of a Hinder type rock song. And then another one is gonna be kind of like a hair metal, Poison, Rat, Warrant, that type of Tom catting around about being down on the Sunset Strip back in the 80s. And, another one that I'm writing is Heartworn Highway, which is actually a DVD about Townes Van Zandt, which I think I'm going to use Townes Van Zandt, and there's someone else I was going to use, kind of influence that one. Zombie is one that is going to be a hip hop song, and it's about, sometimes I wonder if the pills I'm taking are just making me happy, or is it a full happiness, or, is it real, is it a dream? That's kind of what that one's about. And then another country, I wrote a lot of country and red dirt songs. Another one is Getting Stoned on Some Hate, and that's going to be another slow song. I also, like I said before, I write novels, and of course, the first one I said was One Last Dance with the Devil, which is Chris Naughton, Crocodile, Ragweed influence. Most of mine are influenced by novels, and short stories are influenced by songs. Another one that I looked up the other day, that I went through a bunch of papers the other day, is called Eagle Stone, and that's actually going to be based off Becky's Bible and Down the River. I think I'm going to combine those two and make it my own. Yes, I'm a big Chris Knott fan. This is a new one it was actually a song I started, and it had no rhythm to it whatsoever. I'm going to get me another beer. I'll be right back. I'm talking to my cats. I got a boy and a girl. Okay, now I'm drinking a Shiner. I'm running out of beer, so it's mix and match. But anyways, it's about the only dark beer that I do like, is Shiner. But anyways, back to this. Another one of my it's funny, someone, not really asked me, but I write a majority country songs. A majority is what I write. But my biggest influence, like, lyric-wise, is Eminem. I love Eminem. But I'll talk about that in another video. Just Yackin, or whatever. But anyways, back to, this is one that it was a song, but like I said, it had no rhythm. So I thought I'm going to turn it into a short story. It's called God's in Control. It's about this woman, man and wife. The wife comes home and finds out she has breast cancer, and tears up and this and that. And at first, it's called God's in Control. And I don't know exactly what I was going for when I wrote it. I don't even remember doing it. It was probably one of my very earliest songs. The only thing I can think of is there was a song I wrote called, what was that song I wrote? There's a song I wrote that was kind of loosely based off Charlie Robinson's Photograph. And I can't remember what it's called, what I called my song. I mean, it's totally different. I think that might have been what it started out being. But it's going to be a short story how, God's always in control, whether, whatever good or bad go wrong, he's always in control. Another one that I'm going to write, this is based off Elephant by Jason Isbell, which is probably my favorite Jason Isbell song ever. I just don't think he can match that song. That is one badass mofo of a song. I mean, it's different. That's one thing I love about Jason Isbell. his writing style is so different than anybody out there, you know. He's from Alabama. If you don't know him, check him out. Jason Isbell in the 400 unit. And he got the name from when he stayed in rehab because he was a bad alcoholic. I think he was addicted to coke for a while too. But it's called The Burden. I was going to call it The Unwanted Burden. The unwanted burden, but every burden's unwanted, so that kind of didn't make sense to me. But and another short story I'm going to do is called A Hanging in a Tombstone. It's just going to be like a western, and it's going to have somebody at the what do you call that back in the day? They hung them from the tree. I can't remember. I haven't watched a western in a while, so I can't remember. But if you know, let me know. And then I've always wanted to write a song about high school, but I could not do it. And I tried for a long time to figure out how to write a song about a high school. So another thing that I'm gonna do is a song or as a short. I don't know if it's gonna be a short story or not. Probably a novel called Football Friday Nights, and it's gonna have a rape and all these kids, you know, in high school, you know, singers or whatever. Also, another thing I'm working on, which I didn't even put this in here. Most of the time, I write down what I'm going to talk about, because if not, I get all flabbergasted and stuff. But another thing I'm working on, I love murder mysteries and true crime and this and that. And so I'm working on a series right now called Spencer Wade Homicide Detective. And I don't know if it's going to be one of those or not. But another first book that's going to come out in it is going to be The Ransom Notes. It's going to be where the killer leaves different notes and this and that. But like I said, it's still way in the works, or early in the works, I should say. Hopefully one day what I plan to do, once I write at least a couple novels and get to where I don't have to work a 8 to 5 job every day, that I can go back to school for psychology and criminal justice. That's what I want to do. Also, I'm a comedian. If you have never heard of me, my name is Eric Stone. It's the Limping Comedian. It's on Facebook. It says Eric Stone, or the Limping Comedian. I tell jokes. We'll go figure. That's what a comedian does. But like I said, I'm not that far over the line. I don't try to be too dirty, but sometimes I do. You know, because I think there's just sometimes that, you know, you have to. But most of the time, I'm not. I'm PG-13-ish. And it was another thing that I wanted to do when I was in the mental hospital, was try comedy. Because a couple more things I asked for, which has come true, which I'm going way back up here, is to be more outgoing, which I am now, and to get up on stage and talk in front of people. I failed every class in high school because I did it. Couldn't do it. You know, and when I did do it, I just make a dumbass out of myself. But like I said, you know, God works in mysterious ways. I'm an avid reader, semi-avid reader, I guess you could say. I usually read like 7 to 10 books. The most I read in a year is 7. I know that's not a lot, but I read very slow. I'm getting a lot better. My goal for this year is 30 books. I read a lot of biographies. Well, Well, that's beer getting to me, isn't it? But anyways, but right now I'm reading Marilyn Manson's biography. I'm a Christian. He's very interesting. I don't try to judge people because I've been in a lot of situations where you just don't understand where they're coming from. You know, I've never met Marilyn Manson. I have met Shooter Jennings, though, a few times. But I've never met Marilyn. I want to meet him. I love to interview him. I got to interview William Clark Green, which he's a red dirt guy. And I told Sonny Sweeney, she's a Texas country singer, that I'd love to write songs with her one day. She probably thought I was nuts. No, I mean, that's what I want to do. I want to write, you know, hopefully one day I get to write songs with Cody Canada, Wade Bowen, Jason Eady, Jason Boland, Radney Foster, Courtney Patton, Jamie Lynn Wilson, Miranda Lambert, Kat Hasty, all Josh Hubbard, Drew DeFrance, all them people. A lot of my Eminem, I want to come out with an hip hop album. That's actually the next subject. But the long road out of hell. Let's say that right. Hang on. The Long Hard Road Out of Hell is Marilyn Manson's biography, which came out like 10 years ago, maybe. I can't remember when it came out. But like I said, I love to know about everything. Different religions, different ways of point of views. Like I said, I'm very unjudgmental that way. So I want to learn about everything. And Marilyn Manson, a lot of things, he's nothing but a fake and a phony. But think about it. One of his biggest idols is Alice Cooper. And that's what Alice Cooper, he's not a fake or a phony, but shock rock. Before Kiss, before David Bowie, Alice Cooper was the one that started shock rock. And including vaudeville and theater and horror stories and stuff like that in his show, which I didn't like. When I was little, when I was a younger, not little, but younger, young kid, young teen, there's a few Alice Cooper songs I liked, which was like, you know, School's Out and Feed My Frankenstein and No More Mr. Nice Guy and Poison and all that stuff. But the more I looked at it from a different perspective, I was like, this dude's pretty badass, and he's a Christian. Alice Cooper. Now, I don't know about Marilyn Manson, but it's all, and like, what I love about Alice Cooper is you get these really right-wing people that go too far right, I guess. Yeah, I talk with my hands. And, my hand. This one's kind of broke. But anyways, yeah, that's one of my jokes. But they get mad at him because he uses guillotines and killing dead babies. And if you know who Alice Cooper is, you know what he's like. But he's like, but if I was doing Macbeth, would it be okay? He's like, they're like, oh yeah, because it's Shakespeare. But Macbeth has got incest, murder, you know, all that stuff. That is way far worse than whatever Alice Cooper was doing, you know. But anyways, that's beside the point. But and what I love about Alice Cooper is I don't think he judges. Because him and Marilyn Manson are way far from, on different ends of the spectrum of their beliefs. Like I said, I'd love to talk to both of them. Alice Cooper, I don't know if I will be able to, just because he's in the 70s now. I'd still love to see him, though. I'd love to see Marilyn Manson. I got more of a chance to see Marilyn Manson than I would Alice Cooper. But anyways, but like I said, I just love reading about people and, like I said, different things, stuff like that. And you never know what someone's going through, so be nice. Excuse me. But anyways, I want to come out with so many albums. I'm hoping to get a band together called Southern Accent, and it's gonna have all elements of music except for maybe opera, and it maybe even have that at times. I don't know, because I never got into opera, and then I started listening to a lot of Queen, and they got a lot of opera in their music. Bohemian Rhapsody, Night at the Opera. They got way different elements in their music. But, and even like Pantera was considered Southern rock somewhat, but they're from Texas, and ZZ Top is from Texas, which is the South, Southern. And Southern Accent is from Tom Petty. It's a Tom Petty song. I don't know if I'll be able to use that as a band name, but I want to. But it's gonna have hip hop and country. I want to do different records. That's my dream, to do different records. I want to do a hip hop record. That's what I want to do now, or I mean, do at one point. And it's gonna be called Between God and the Devil, or Between God and the Devil. There's only one God, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, But I want to at least 10 to 12 tracks on it. Songs. I wrote a song called Intro, but I want it to be kind of like a concept album. So, and you don't see a lot of them anymore. Concept albums, Jason Boland and the Strugglers is working on a new concept album, which Shooter Jennings is producing. They're working on it in California right now. But what was that album by the Eagles that had Desperado and all that stuff? That was a concept album, which it didn't sell at the time, but now I think it's like one of the biggest selling Eagles albums out there. That was a concept album. But I kind of want to do in between, between God and the devil. God's good, the devil tries to pull you away, and we all have that. We all go through that, Another song that I'm writing, I hadn't completed it yet, but I'm writing. It's called The Virginity Tales. I'm a virgin. Sometimes it's different, because sometimes I'm like, it's a good thing, and then sometimes I want to leave the other way and be a bad boy. But I got the idea I was going to Conway, which is about an hour and a half from my house, Conway, Arkansas, and I was listening to ZZ Top. Shit, I can't even talk. I'm gonna get a little drunk. But anyways, I was listening to Too Short, and Freaky Tales came on, whatever album that is. It might have been called Freaky Tales, the album itself. And I was like, that's a badass song, from hip hop point of view. And I was like, and for some reason I got the Virginity Tales where it's like all the stuff you want to do but you can't because you're a virgin. So that's part of the devil part, the devil, and then Rise Above, which is going to be the God part. Like I said, I want to do a concept album. I thought about putting a song called Acapella that I wrote, but I'm going to go back and rewrite it, I think. I don't like the way it turned out. It's one of the first rap songs I ever wrote. It was really a freestyle. I've never actually really freestyled before. I want to learn. Because I want to do, like I said, do a hip-hop album. Excuse me. Anyways, so another song is actually going to be a country song. And the more I thought about it, I wanted it to be a rap song. Used to, I didn't know what I wanted type of songs it to be. Now I can pretty much tell. It's a song called Dear Depression. And it's when I'm going through depression, you know, this and that. And then another song that I'm working on is called Diamond in the Rough, which is, you know, you're not good, you're wet behind the ears in the hip hop and the rap, but you'll get there. Straight Out the Country is a funny song that I started, but I might combine it with something else. Who I Am, that's going to be a rap album. A rap song, sorry. Rap song. And it's just pretty much about me. You know, because I can go from Slim Shady Baby to Alice Cooper. Or Slim Shady Crazy to Alice Cooper Baby. You know, stuff like that. And then, I don't know if I'll be able to pull this off as a rap song. I wanted to do a song called Vicious Cycle, about where this kid is in a fucked up neighborhood where there's gangs, violence, drugs, prostitution, everything. And he ends up finally getting out of it. But I hadn't been able to find or write the song yet. It also might be a novel or a short story. So that's what I've got for today. On this episode of Just Yackin. It's a long one, but listen to all of it because it's good. And like I said, if you're suffering from feeling not, you know, suicidal or whatever, call the suicide hotline, get in touch with somebody. Just, you know, there's options out there. And it helped me. But I will see you on the next Just Yackin.